called index.html. Let's make a file called index.html. So I'm gonna make HTML skeleton. So I'll call this home dev shop. So that is the name of our shop. Okay, so under the home, I'm gonna have a div with ID of root. So inside this div, this is where we are going to perform all the magic. So I'm gonna have header, so which will stand for my navigation at the top. So that is header. So what I will do right now is to go back to Bootstrap and get the Bootstrap navigation. So this is Bootstrap right here. Under the search bar here, I'm just going to say navbar. So this is navbar, not navbar. Click that. Okay, so we have the navigation here. So I can just say copy. So I copy the navigation, go back to my code. Go back to my code, paste that. Okay, so we have the navigation here. So what I'll do is to attach a class here called header. So we are going to attach the linear gradient to this header later on. So we are going to attach a class name of header. We are going to attach some style to this header class later on. Okay, so if I save this right now, right click and say open with live server. So if you are not seeing this option on your machine, that is if you are using Visual Studio Code and you are not seeing this option, you can just come down to extension here and search for live server. So this is the first one on the list. So you just click that and install. So once you are done, you're good to go. So I'm just going to right click, say open with live server. Okay, so this is what we are having right now. So we are going to hook in the Bootstrap. So I'll go up, say link CSS. So the Bootstrap file is inside our vendors, then Bootstrap CSS, then bootstrap.css. So without wasting much of the time, I will go to the bottom of the page of the code right here. I'll have scripts with source, vendors, Bootstrap, JS, bootstrap.js. So this one actually needs jQuery to perform very well. So I'm just going to say script with source, vendors, jQuery.in.js. Okay. So if I go back to the code, we have this nice styled navigation. So going back to my code right now, I'm going to change this container fluid of the navigation to container, so as to make everything to give it a left and right padding. Okay, so what I'll do right now is to actually get rid of this drop down. This is drop down, get rid of it, or just get rid of everything inside the UL excluding one nav item. This is what we are going to need, one nav item. Okay, so first of all, we're going to make another list item with class name of nav item. So this is going to be a form. So So inside the form, we are going to have a div with class name of form group, then another class. So this display flex, this is display flex, is actually a Bootstrap class. So display flex, then I'm going to add another one, align item center. Okay, so inside that, I'm going to have an impl with class name of w100. This is a Bootstrap class to take the full width, that is w100. So I'm going to say placeholder search products. So now I'm going to need an icon. If I go back, let me say close other tabs. So I'm going to need this icon right here. So I'll just navigate to iconify.design. So browse icon. Okay, so we'll search for search. We are searching for search. Oh my god. Okay, so click on this first one, the first one. So this is it. Okay, so this is it, but we actually need we need to change the color, then we need to give it size. So let's leave this to 24. We need to give it color, that is our primary color. So we can do that right from our code later on. So I'm just going to copy it. So this is the script file that we downloaded earlier. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it right there. So now I can say style with color. So the color is going to be our primary color, 5D8. That is the color. So okay, so let's right click and say open with live server to see what is going on there. So we don't have the icon. That is because we don't have our iconify library yet. So I'm just going to say script with source vendors iconify. So say iconify.js. So we have the search bar right here. Okay, so for the home, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it. Get rid of it. So what we are going to do, because what we actually need right now is to do these two icons, the cards and the account. So I'm just going to attach few more Bootstrap classes to this display of flex, align item center, nav items group. So nav items group. So that is because we want to put a two nav item. We want to put two links inside this place. So the first one is going to be a span tag with class name of cat icon. So inside that, we are going to have the cat icon. Then we are going to have small tag with class name of text white. This is a Bootstrap class, text white, and the value is going to be 0 for now. Okay, so I'll go to the iconify. So search for card. Okay, so if I go back, so we actually have this type of curve. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's this one, but let's go with this. I think it's, yeah, it's this one, but let's go with this. So the color is going to be white. So I'm just going to say FFF, copy, paste it. Okay, yeah, we have it right there. So the color is white. So I'm going to attach a few more attributes. I'm going to say data width should be 28. So data width 28. So you can do the same thing for height. Data height 28. Yeah. Okay, so inside the nav items group, I'm going to have another item. If you can remember, we've passed display of flex, so it's going to make it a flex box. So I'm going to have a span tag with class name of dflex align items. This is going to be aligned to the center. Then we are going to have the user icon, account user icon. Then we are going to have small tag with value of accounts, then class name of text white. Yeah, so you can go to the icon file, search for user icon, but I am going to be using the data icon of ants design user offline. So that is the data icon that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to go like this, span tag with class name of iconify. Yeah, so I'll have data icon. So this is the data icon that I'm going to be using. Data icon. Yeah, the style, I'll say color should be white. So data width should be 28, while the data height is also 28. Yes, so we have this right here. So we didn't waste much of our time on the navigation. I think we're done. We're pretty done. Yeah, this is it. We're done. So let's get rid of this and change the name. Then let's go to style, so we can style our navigation. So we're going to get rid of this form, delete. Then the nav bar here, we are going to say dev shop. So probably just to attach site title, because this is actually the site title. We want to make it bold. So that is the site title. So inside my CSS folder, I'll make a new file, say nav.css. So we are going to write a few more CSS code. So I'm going to say header, that is the navigation, should have background of linear gradients. So just like our primary button, to write CB046A, that is our secondary button, our secondary color, then our primary color. So if you can remember the primary button, we have done the same thing. Okay, so for the site title, I think I attach a class name of site title. So I'm going to say font size should be 1.8 and it's important. So the color should be white. Yeah, let's say it's also important. Font family should be the Rajani bold. Then we are going to say margin of 0. So that is for the site title. So for the search form, in order for us to see what we're actually doing, yeah, I think I want to style this now. Yeah, I think I want to style this. So I have to attach a class name to the search form, say search form. Then I'm going to pick up the style sheet, link CSS. So this will go to assets, CSS, global.css. Then let's hook in the navigation, CSS, nav.css. So if I go back, you can see that we have something different right now. So what we need to do now is to make all this to go to the other side. to create a space in between the brand name, that is the site title, and all other navigation item. Okay, so I think I've attached search form to this. So search form, then the form group under the search form. Yeah, let's say for now the size should be 500 pixels, and let's say background should be white. Let's say border top left radius, let's say 20 pixels. Let's say border should be none actually. Then let's say padding 10 pixels, 20 pixels. So this is actually saying that top and the bottom should be 10 pixels, then the left and right should be 20 pixels. Okay, so let's target search form, then the inputs inside the form group, that is what we are targeting right now. So we want to actually style it. You can see that right now we don't want the input to have this background, this outline, I mean the border. We don't want it to have the border, so as to look exactly like this. You can see when I'm typing, we don't have any style there. Okay, so now I'm going to add a few more properties and value. First of all, let's go background none. Let's say border should be none also, and important. Let's say the width should be 100%, although we already have the width to be 100%. Yeah, you can see that we are having it right here. So if I type, if I'm typing, we are having something like outline, like the border when we are typing. So that is, we need to target the unfocus form group, the inputs focus. So we need to target this and just say outline none, then border none. Yeah, so if I leave it outline orange, this is actually a mistake. So I just want to show you guys how that works. So this is not showing because I have border to be none. Let me remove that. It is not showing because I have border to be none here also. Let me remove that. Okay, yeah, outline orange. So let's say border, what am I doing? Should be orange, 2 pixels, solid orange. This is not necessary. Okay, so this is it right here. So we want to get rid of that. Say outline should be none, then we are going to say border to be none. Oops, this is 100% border none also. So we have it right here. I think this 500 pixels for the search form is actually too much, so let's make it 474 pixels. 474 pixels. Okay, yeah, let's go with this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so what we are doing now is to actually style the cat icon. You can see it right here. So I'll go back to my HTML. The cat icon was like, what is this? So let's attach a few more classes. Display of flex, then align item centers. Oops, what is that? Cat icon, display of flex, align item center. Yeah, so that is it. So we want to give a bit of space here, then space here. So going back to my nav.css, I'm going to say something like nav items group, if you can remember, nav items group, then the cart icon. So let's go margin. So for the top and bottom, it's going to be auto. I don't want to touch that. Then for the left and right, I'm going to say 2M. So you can see that we have the space 2M. So what I can do right now is to actually target nav items group, cat icon, then the small tag. To target the small tag, I'm just going to say position should be absolute, then top minus, let's go 15 pixels. I don't know. Oops, where is it? Where is it? Oh, guys, we have to do something here. Say position should be relative. So it should be relative. Okay, so we have it right here. I don't want it to go that way, so let's make it 10 pixels. Yeah, and now let's say right should be 0. Maybe right should be minus 5 pixels. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to add, because this is actually big. That is big, so this is not. Okay. So for now, yeah, I think I need to add a few more classes to this one. Because this is way too small, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it inside my nav.css. So I want to do everything from here. So what I'm just going to do is to add probably font size. So I'm going to say font size here. Font size should be 0.8 m. Yeah, I don't know. And let's go 0.8 m. But if this is not working, so let's just do something like inside our navigation.css. So let's just target all the small. I say nav items group, then small. So now let's say font size. Let's go something like 13 pixels. No, this should be. Let's go something like 16 pixels. Not working. Let's make it important. It's not working. Small. What are we doing wrong? One thing I noticed we've not done is to include the fonts.css, so where we declare all our fonts. So I'm going to hook in CSS. So let's say font. This is coming from assets, fonts.css. So we have it right there. So if we go back, we are going to be seeing something different. So now we need to move right from the search form. We need to move it to the edge, to the other edge. We need to move it down there. So what I will do is to add deflex, then justify. I'm going to add it to the container. Deflex, justify, content center, between. Then again, I'm going to remove this me auto. I'm going to remove it. Then I'm just going to add style, margin left should be auto. So this will move everything down to the other side. So if I go to menu, developer, then developer 2. So to see it on small screen, we have something like this. So if I click here, it's going to come out right there. Okay, so we need to attach a few more styles. We need to perform something for the small screen. So we are actually focusing on the bigger screen, which is the normal screen, and mobile phones. So I'm just going to say media max width 900 pixels. So from here, I'm going to say the search form should be margin 20 pixels from top and bottom, and left and right should be auto. I don't want to touch that. So again, we are going to go search form, the form group. We are going to say the width should be 95 pixels, 95%. So we are going to say nav items group, cards icon. So this, if I leave that, so let's assume that I drop down here. So you can see that we are having space here and we don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to say margin auto. So that is top should be auto. I don't want to touch it. Then left should be 2M. Is it? Okay, let's go. Let's see. Let me see the results first. Okay, if I say 0, okay, yeah, so that is 0. Then I want to go auto for the bottom. Then for the right, I want to go to M. Oh. So this should be 2M. Why this is 0? Because we're actually going to M by the right, not by the left. So we are going to M by the right. So we have our header right here. Nice. Yeah, okay guys, so let's move down to the banner. So we have the banner here. We are going to deal with this first, then we are going to deal with this later. Now let's code. So I'm going to close this from here so that we can make comments a banner, or probably banner sidebar. Okay, so this now we're going to have a div, or let's call it section, with class name of home banner. So inside that we are going to have a div with class name of sidebar. Then I'm going to attach this Bootstrap class p large 3, that is on large screen this should have padding of 3. So I'm going to say px lg5. Yeah, so inside that I'm going to say sidebar inner with card p3. So we are going to grab list item. So inside that we're going to have an a tag, because we actually want to click this to go to another page, probably the respective page. So we are going to have li, that is list item. This will go to women fashion. So we want to have another one. So you can customize all this as you want. Home offices, probably homes, that is fine. Okay, so let's go toys here. So if I check the results, so we have it like this. So right below that, right below the list item, the UL, the unordered list, we're going to have a div with class name of sidebar icons. So inside that we are going to have 4 icons that is coming from Iconify. So the first one is the phone icon. So if I go back here, we have the phone, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. So if we go to the Iconify, come here, search for phone. Yeah, you can pick any one that you want, but I'll go back to the code. I'm going to say span with class of Iconify. So I'm going to say data icon. So this is actually the L, that is for elements, phone art, that is the name of the icon. So I'll go style. So my style is going to be CB, that is our secondary color, but this is a bit deeper than that one. So CB046A, so that is the color. Oops, color. Yeah, we're going to get that. So I'll duplicate this 3 times. So the second one is going to be, yeah, I think, yeah, this is going to be font awesome brands. This is WhatsApp, then make this scale. So the third one is going to be Aka icons. Then this is Facebook -fill. The next one is going to be UIM Instagram art LT. So all this, if you come to Iconify, you search for Instagram, you are going to see it here, but I don't actually have the time. This is from Font Awesome. This is another one from here. So that is that. You can pick anyone that you actually want. If you don't want to go ahead with my own, yeah, I think we don't have Facebook there. What happened? Oh, this should be icons. Yeah, so we have it right there. Okay, so one thing I want to do, if we are on mobile, I want to have, let me say, like a button that I can use to close the sidebar if we are on mobile. So I'm going to say sidebar toggler. So with another class of close sidebar, then this will only be available on mobile, if you can remember that. So inside that, I want to have a span tag with class name of btn. Then on click, I'm going to fix that later. That is, when we click that, something should happen. Then we are going to say times. So this will give us the times sign. Okay, so now when we are done with the sidebar, we want to have our banner. So I'm going to pick, so we are still inside the section of the banner, of the home banner, just that we can close our sidebar right here. So now let's say class of banner. Then inside that, we are going to have the same toggle icon that we have, but right now we are not going to use the times. We are going to use a particular icon from Iconify. So I'm going to say span tag with class name of Iconify. So I'm going to say data icon. So data icon should be ant design. This is coming from ant design. Then manifold with outlined. So what I want to do is to actually put the color to be something deep black or something very black. So I'm going to go style, color should be 333. Yeah, so I'll say data height should be 24 pixels. Yeah, I think 24 pixels will look good, and the data width should be 24 pixels. Okay, so we are going to attach on button click later, because when I click it, I actually want the sidebar to come up. So this is it right here, but this is going to be available only on mobile. Yeah, this is going to be available only on mobile. So I'll wrap it inside another div. I'll call it sidebar toggler with mobile. Okay, so now right after that, I'll have a class of row. I'll say column LG6, that is for the banner. I'll have another one, banner container. So this banner container, inside that we are going to have the banner inner. So inside that we will have h3 that says e-commerce for everyone, then a p tag with class name of, because I actually want this to be bold, with class name of font weight bold. This is coming from Bootstrap, font weight bold. Then I am going to just type something. Let's say allowing, don't want this to be much. Yeah, okay. So after that, we are going to have an a tag that is not going anywhere for now. So we're going to attach class name of btn, then btn primary. So if you can remember, we have this styled in our global.css, so we don't have to worry about styling again. So say text white, that is to have text color of white. We're going to say py, px should be 4, then py to be 2. I want it to be bold as well, font weight bold. Then I'm going to say shop now, or probably we can just say shop now, then attach another class text uppercase. This is coming from Bootstrap also. So this is the banner inner from the banner container. So I am going to have this image right here. I'm going to have it right after the banner inner. I'm going to call image. Then this is coming from the assets folder from the image. Then we are going to say pricing.png, so we don't actually need to worry about downloading the image. Probably pricing. Okay, so after the column LG6, so we're going to have another call LG6. So this will have a class name of, so let's say banner image. Yeah, I think that looks great. So we're going to have an image inside that says assets img, then girl1.jpg. Okay, so this is all for our our banner and the sidebar. Now let's go to our CSS folder. Let's say banner.css. So one thing I'll first do, so that my mind is not going to skip that, I'll come to HTML, to my HTML file. I'll say link, then assets CSS, then banner.css. So in order for me to confirm if that is done, if that is properly attached to my HTML, I can just target all elements, say background of red. So we are going to see the result right there. Okay, so we're good to go. Now I'm going to target home banner. So we're going to say height is going to be 100 VH, but if you see it 100 VH, okay, let me say overflow of Eden, so that we'll see what we are actually doing. So this is 100 view height, that is the 100% of the screen. You can see that this is not looking good because I want all the banner to show while I'm on the screen. Like when you open the page, all the banner should just come up. Can you see that? So no need of scrolling. So what I would just do is to get the height of our navigation. So I'll say Ctrl Shift C. So I'm trying to get the height. So if you see the inner height is 53. You can see 375 53.19. So if I come up here, the height is actually 69.17. So I'm just going to give that 70. So I will use this CSS function called calc. This is going to calculate 100 VH minus 70 pixels. So we can get rid of this. Now you can see that we don't have the scroll bar again. So I'll set that to display of flex. Then the position should be relative. Okay, so this is looking good. So to target the actual banner, we're going to say the width should be 100%. So the banner should take 100% of the home banner. Then the height should be 100% as well. Then padding should be 50 pixels. Okay, so I'm going to target banner. Then the banner inner, banner inner, yeah, I think, do we call it banner inner? Is it banner inner? Yeah, this is it right here, banner inner. I'm going to say margin top 15 view H. Yeah, so that is it, 15 view H. So we're going to go banner inner. Then the H3 should have font family of our journey bold, that is the main font. So font weight should be bold. Then font size, so I think let's go for M. Okay, let's go something 4.5. Yeah, I think I'll prefer this. Now let's go line height, should be 70 pixels, and color should be 424242. Okay, yeah. So let's go back. So this, I want to convert this. Okay, yeah, for now let's go for the image. For the pricing image, let's say banner container, then the image, we're going to say height should be 150 pixels, width should be 150 pixels, object fit container, then position absolute. Then we want to position that to the bottom, because if I didn't position it to the bottom, you can see that we have it here. Why? This is supposed to be here. I think I like it there, but we don't want it to be here, so you have to put it here. So what I would do is to actually target this banner inner and make it position of relative. Okay, so I'll say bottom to go to 0. bottom 0. Why is it here? So let's do something like, after this, let's do something like banner, then the row that is the parent of all the columns. So let's just say 100% height. Okay, yeah, I think this is a bit fair. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing we are going to target now is the other image, that is the girl.png. So I'll say banner image. So I'll say display. I'm going to give this grid. So this is actually the container of that image, this one. So I'll say grid, then I'm going to position it, align contents to flex end. Oops. So this should come here. So let's see, what are we doing wrong? Let's actually get the background of that. Let's see what we are missing. Oops, that means we have an error here in this class name. So I think let's go on that banner. Yeah, so that is the class name right there. So get rid of that. Okay, so yeah, this is looking like a good result. So let's go for the sidebar. So I'm going to say home sidebar, width of 100%, max width 340 pixels, margin top 30 pixels. Then to target the banner inner, yeah, that is looking good. To target the banner inner, we're going to say on banner, the sidebar inner, sidebar underscore inner. So I'm going to say border top left radius should be 15 pixels. Then the minimum height from here should be 70 view edge. Then position should be relative. Yes. Now what we're going to do is to target the list item. Inside that, I'm going to say on banner, sidebar inner, then the URL, list type, make it none, then padding inline start. So I like to always remove this, because if you can see, if I save this, so can you see the results? So if I remove the padding inline start, you can see what we're having here. So we have some padding here. So I remove that. So moving on, we're going to say on banner, sidebar inner, ULLI. We're going to say margin 10 pixels 0. Then on banner, sidebar ULLI. Then the anchor tag, we're going to say yeah, let's pass in font family. Let's say regular fonts, that is the font family, regular font. If I save that, yeah, we're having a good result. So font weight 600, that is the weight. Then text decoration, let's remove that. Then the color should be 545454. This should be 4. Yeah. Now let's take all these icons, let's take them down. So we don't want to be seeing them over there. So I'll go on banner, sidebar sidebar inner, say sidebar icons. Now we can say position absolute, then button should be 20 pixels, display flex, so because we actually want them to stretch over the width of their parent. So we're going to say justify content space between. Let me see, this isn't good. Let's say space evenly, not good either. What are we doing wrong? Display flex. Okay, so let's go with, I think we need to pass width for that to work. Yeah, that is it right there. We need to pass width for that to work. Then probably to help it with margin 0.2, not necessary. Okay, so we have our banner. Start quickly. Okay, so we have the popular products. So what I would do is to actually go ahead and let's code all this button. Let's code it first, then we are going to do the products later. So going back to my index, I'll close the home banner. Then I can just make another comment that says product popular product section. So with that, I can say display of container. I can say div of container. Then let's say popular products. Let's say popular products categories, because we might have another popular product later. So so what I want to do is to actually attach a section class. So this section class, I am going to give it a star here. That's a section. So inside my global.css, I'm going to say margin top should be 80 pixels. So that is what I would do to that. If I come here, so this is going to have an header, a title. I'll call it title. Okay, title. So I'll say popular products. Then I'm going to have lists of items, that is for all the buttons. So I'll say li. So inside that, let's have class of btn with another class of active, because this is going to be the first one, active. Then again, let's pass in a span tag with / inside the span tag. So I can just duplicate this, copy, paste. So I'll say top. So this isn't going to have active again, so let's be making use of this. So the next thing, main, trousers, cap, then we'll have toy. Okay, okay, so I'll get rid of this. don't know where the style is coming from. Okay, so let's move on. So we are going to actually list the products now. I'll say container with margin top and bottom should be 5. So we're going to have a row with gutter y should be y, then popular products. So this, all these, the Bootstrap classes, this is our own class. So popular products grid, okay. So now we are going to list each product. So it's going to be called MD4, or probably let's say LG4. Yeah, 4 is it? Yeah, 4. Then MD called MD6. Yeah. Then I'm going to give it class of item. Then okay, so let's go first. So inside that, I'm going to have a card with class of shadow. Yeah. So we're going to have product image, and like it like this, product image. Inside that, we are going to have an image. So let's just say asef img, then products inside img. So let's go with one.png at first, with a class name of img thread. Okay, so now let's have another div. Let's call it deflex, justify content between, then px3. So this is actually for the category and the rating of the products. So we're going to have small with class name of margin 0. Then this is going to have category, then span, main. So this is for main. So this category right here, I am going to also put it here so as to enable us to filter it. Main. Then inside that, we are going to have another small tag with class name of m0. So inside that, we are going to have an icon from Iconify, a star icon. Oops, star. Yeah, I think this is the field and this is the outlined on. So you can go ahead and copy them, but I'm going to do it my way. I'll say Iconify. So let's go data icon. Oops, data icon. So that is going to be ant design star field. So that is the field one. So I'll copy that a few times to make it 5. Yeah, so this is it. So after that, I'm going to have a new div. I'll call it products details. So it's going to have few Bootstrap classes, my2, deflex, justify content between, px3, products details. Okay, we already applied the product details. So inside that, we are going to have a p tag with class name of m0, then font weight of bold. So inside that, we're going to have our product name, So let me just say lorem. Let me stop here. Probably let me put it back. Ctrl Z. I don't know. Okay. So I'll go H6. This is for the price. I'll say $10. Okay, so if we check the results so far, this is what we are having. Yeah, this is looking cool. So right after the product description, I'm going to close it. Product description, I've closed that. So I'm going to have an HR with class name of 0. So this is an horizontal row. This is going to roll it. It's M0. Then I'll say display of flex. That is another division with class name of display of flex. Then to justify whatever that we want to put here, justify content evenly, then P3. So this is going to be for all the buttons, for the card button and the wish list button. So I will say button with class name of btn, then background none. So this is not going to have any background. Then inside that we are going to have an image. So I have the icon saved here. I can't use iconify because I've adjusted the icon, I've edited the icon. So I'm going to say app.png. So let me say button with class name of btn. So this is also bg none. Yeah, background none. So I'm going to say image. Yeah, I think that is all we need from here. But all these buttons, they're just way too big. So I'm going to attach an attribute height that says 24. Let me see. What, that is too small. That says 30. Then I'll say height 30. Yes. So we are going to style this. So let's style this, then we are going to duplicate it. So we have to style it first, then we are going to duplicate it. So let's make a new CSS file that says popular products.css. So we are going to say popular, that is the main container, products, categories, then the h3, that is the title. Let's say text align should be center, then fonts family should be the Achani bold, then let's say font size should be 3M. So this is actually the title. So if I scroll up, oops, so we need to include that. So let's go link CSS, assets CSS, popular products.css. So this is it right here. So now let's target the UL. So I don't actually know where this style is coming from. I don't know, probably because of the class of btn. So I'll say UL. So I'm still going to do the list item, the list style type to be none, padding inline, I always do this, text align center, display flex, so justify content center. Then we're going to have the popular product categories, ULLI, say margin left should be 10 pixels for all the list items, so we can have space. Then we're going to add another margin to the span tag, popular product categories, ULLI, span should have margin left 10 pixels also. Then popular product category URLi, then the li that is active, you can see that there is no space here, so that is the li that has the active class, which is this one. So we want to say the color should be something dark red, then font weight should be bold also. So as you can see, so if I click top, this should shift to top, then this will filter all the top products. Okay, now let's move down to each product. That is products. So we're going to say popular products grid card, width should be 85 pixels. So that is what we're working on. So I'm going to say margin 0 auto. So I'm going to target the image. So I'll say popular products. Oops, popular products grid. Yeah. So I'll say product image. Pardon, 10 pixels, 30 pixels. Display flex. Display of flex. Then justify content, we are going to put that to the center. So we are going to target the actual image product, then the image. We're just going to say the max height should be 200 pixels. Let's see. Oops, that is too small. 222. I'll go to 24. Yeah. Okay. So what we are going to do now is to actually target the price. Yeah, the product price, which is the H6. Then I'm going to say font weight should be bold. Then the font family should be right churning bold. That is the name of the fonts. Then the font size should be 30 pixels. So we're going to target the product details, which is the P tag. So say products details P. I'm just going to say width of 80, because if I didn't pass the width of 80% and save this, you can see that they are too close. So I'm just going to say width should be 80% of that. Or better still, let's go 75. Oops, 80 is better. Okay. So what we need to do now, because if I actually make this to be on small screen, you can see this, you can see all this list item, you can see that they are out of their boundary. So that is on small screen. You can see it's affecting our sidebar. I think we need to add something to the sidebar. We're going to do that right after this one. So let's take care of this. So I'll say at media max width 900 pixels. Then we want to target the popular products categories, then UL the li. So I'll say margin, oops, margin should be 00. Then we just want to hide this the span tag. So the span display none. So we just want to hide it when we're on small screen. So back, so I think we are good to go with this. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, we're good to go with this. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we need to add Windows class to the sidebar. So that is, we want to see our sidebar only when we are on Windows. So I'm just going to say Windows. So now the sidebar is no more there. Then we're just going to do a few things to the banner, so that it will fit in very well. So we didn't actually check that before moving down to the popular products. So let's quickly go back to fix what is missing there. So let's go back to our banner.css. So we stopped at the icon, so we didn't actually do the responsiveness. So let me just grab at media query. Let me say max width 900 pixels. So the banner is actually going to be padding of 20 pixels instead of 30. Yeah, sorry about that. So I'll say banner, then the banner now, the H3, I'm going to reduce that a bit to font size 3.6 M. Then I'm just going to target the banner inner. So this actually we said margin top should be 15 view H, but now we want to make it 5. Yeah, I think it's fine like this. Yeah, I want to make it 5. So I'm actually using iPhone for texting, and you say iPhone X for texting. So let me go margin bottom 2 view H is the margin bottom of that, just to give space between the banner and this image. Save that. Or let me increase it so we can see it very well. You can see that. So let me take it back to something 3. Yeah. So moving on, I will say banner, then I'm going to target the banner container, then the img should be left 0, bottom should be minus 200 pixels, so as to position it right in front of this girl right here. So if I check very well, so I think, because if my banner, my sidebar is actually showing, so let me do something that will make the sidebar to show. So let me say home banner, the sidebar should be position for now. Let me say display block and make it important. Yeah, so we have the sidebar right here. So I want the sidebar to be position absolute, so I'm going to say position absolute. Yeah, as you can see, so we'll say Z index, we're going to make it something like 4 or 10. Yeah, so that can come up. So I'll say top minus 5 UH, because I want it to move to the top to cover the sidebar toggle. So that is it right there. So I'll say padding should be 0, yeah, okay. So for now we are going to say home banner, the sidebar, then the sidebar inner. So the sidebar inner should actually be the calculation of 100 VOH minus 80 pixels. So can you see that? So I'm going to say border top left radius should be 0, because I just want to close that. It's there, but I just want to close it. 0. Okay, fine. So we are actually going to say something like, because if I show the close sidebar, if I say display of block, if I say display of block, where is it? Important. Okay, it's somewhere there. If I say position absolute top, oops, top 0, right 0, so you can see that we have it right here. Maybe I remove it, it's not going to be there. Yeah, it is going to be there, but on window it's not going to be there. Can you see that? So going back to mobile, okay, or probably we can just say, I don't know. Okay, so let's just go. Let's move on, because what I actually want to do is to position this sidebar to above the navigation. So probably I'm going to set this to something like 100, and probably plus 80 to this one is minus 85. Whoops. Okay, 85 pixels, and probably this that is 100, just to make it a bit larger. Then I just want to do something that is, let me say, fixed. Yes, something like this. Then we are going to get rid of the top. Yes. Then we are going to say the height of the sidebar should be 100. So I just want to make it, yes, something like this. And yeah, the top is 0. That is cool. But when do we make this to be 100%? So let us take it back. So it's going to be Ctrl Z to this place. So right 0. So with this, I'm going to say close sidebar span, font size should be 40 pixels. That is for this one, so that when I close it, the sidebar should be closed also. So let's quickly integrate that. So inside my assets folder, I'm going to have a folder called main.js. Then inside that, oops, I'm going to have a folder called js. Then inside that, I'll have a file called main.js. So I'm going to have a function called an arrow function. I'm going to call the function toggle sidebar. So it is an arrow function. So this is the same thing as saying function toggle sidebar. So it's still the same thing. So I just prefer it that way. So this is JavaScript. So I am going to use jQuery to target the sidebar. Then I'm just going to say toggle. Probably in 100, I don't know. So we need to call this main.js right from here after the jQuery. So I'll say script with source. This is coming from assets js main.js. Then again, we need to attach on click. This is the sidebar. we need to give it ID of sidebar. Then we need to attach on click to this button. Say on click toggle sidebar, so as to call this function whenever I click that button. Then there is one other toggle sidebar right here. This is it. Say on click toggle sidebar. So we are actually calling JavaScript function right from our HTML. So if I click this, it's going to toggle it. What? We are actually clicking this right now. Close sidebar toggler. I think it's because the class name is the same. Something is wrong. So when I click that button, I want to show an alert that shows that I am actually clicking it. That shows that I am actually clicking it. So if I click that, hello world, please subscribe. Okay, so this shows that I'm actually clicking it. So we can just say .hide alone. So this is going to hide it. This is not working. What happened? Yeah, I think that is because, let me go back to my banner.css. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Yeah, let me get rid of that. So when I click this, the sidebar should come up. So just say toggle. So when I click this, the sidebar should come up. When I click this again, it should go off. When I click this, it should come up. When I click this, it should go off. When I click this, it should come up, go off. Yeah. So what else do we need to fix from this place? Nothing again. Yeah. So we are good to go. Okay. So let's add more products. Then we are going to implement the filter. So close this. Close this, close this, close this, close this, close this. So open my index.html. So let me close the banner. So let us face this. So we're actually trying to add more products. So this is a product coming from here. So copy that. Oops. Okay, so paste it for another product. So we have 3 products so far. I'm just going to change the category. So let me change this to something like top. It's top. So let me change the class from here. Let me change it to top, because that is what we are going to use to filter it. So probably to change the product to 2. Yeah. Okay, so we have top. I think in front of this category we need to do something. So I'll select this, then I'll press Ctrl D to select all other type of this text that we are currently selecting, this selected text. So I will just pass in this, yeah, just to say that we want to say something. Okay, so we have 3 so far. We have 2 main and 1 top. So let me close this. 2 main, 1 top. So let's duplicate that again. So let's call this cap, and let's duplicate again. Let's call it toy. So this next one is going to be toy, and toy. No, probably, I don't know, let's go 3. So this is going to be cap. Okay. Alright, so let's implement the filter. So I'm just going to navigate to this website, logiccamp.com.ng. So I'll navigate to this website. So I'm going to put the link down in the description below. So I'll navigate to this website. As you can see, the first post says how to dynamically filter grid items with isotope.js. So we're going to click on that. So we don't actually want to read all the stories. We're just going to scroll down to step 1. So step 1 says we should get our HTML structure. So step 2 says we should add our products. I think we already have that. So step 3 says we should get Bootstrap. We'll have that. To add styles. So right from step 5, we need to add data filter attributes to our buttons. So this data filter, this is going to filter all because it is empty, but this is going to filter only the fruit items here. So if you really want to learn more about this isotope, you can just come down to this place, read all the content so you can understand how isotope really works. So we need to add data filters. That is 1. Okay, so it's also telling us that we should add class name of grid to the parent, to the row of the parent. Then we are going to add item, then category name to all the products. I think we've done this, and this we are not going to use grid. We are going to use the products category grid. We are going to use that. Okay, so first of all, let's add data filter to all the list items. So I'll go back to where we have all our LIs. Yeah, right here. So data filter for this, data filter for this is going to be empty because we want it to filter all. Then data filter for this is going to be the one with class name of top. This is going to be the one products with class name of main. Data filter is going to be the one with class name of trousers. Data filter should be cap. Then data filter of this should be toy. Oops, we need to put it as class name, that is with a full stop. Okay, so we've done that. So let's scroll down. So we need to actually include our isotope.js. I think we have the file. Yeah, we have the file, but I'm going to scroll up to step 1 to download the isotope library. So this is it. This is the link. Visit the link to download isotope file. So click that, paste it. So this is the source code. Ctrl A, Ctrl C. Then inside our isotope.js, we are just going to paste it. So we're good. Then scroll down. I'm going to include that. Say script source vendors / isotope, then isotope.js. Okay, so this is where the main work is. Scroll down to step 7. So we have included the isotope, so we need to initialize the isotope. then we need to call the onButton click function. So in order to initialize the isotope, we are going to use this init isotope, paste that. So once you click, it's going to copy it. Can you see? Copied. So paste that. So what I'm just going to do, so this is telling us that we want to target, we want to declare a variable called grid, but this is going to target an item with a division with a class name of grid, but we don't have grid. So what we have instead is the products category, the popular products grid. So can you see row? Then we have this. So I'm going to replace that. So then item selector, then each item of this that has class name of item, I think we've done that, so we are going to leave that right there. So now to call the onButton click, I am just going to copy everything they have here, copy that. Okay, so this is telling me that when I click the filter button group, so that means the parent of all our list item, we need to add this class name to it. So I'm going to scroll up to where we have the list item for our isotope filter. So I'm going to copy this class name, scrolling up. Okay, so we are going to paste it right here with class, paste it there. So if I go back to my browser, so I should be able to filter this, but there's one thing that you need to know. If I refresh, I keep on refreshing, so we will have, as you can see, this is overlapping, so we have to take care of this. So I'm going to go down to my JavaScript code, then I'm going to delay all this for just 1 second. So I'm going to say set timeout with arrow function. So I'm going to make it 1 second. Then I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to copy all this into the timeout function. So this is how it's going to be looking like. Okay, so if I keep on refreshing, nothing will happen. So one thing that we need to do now, as you can see, when I click on top, the active class, we have to change it to the current filter. So I'll come down here. So as you can see, this code right here that we copied, so we have to change this button to list item. So if I refresh, go back, now as you can see, but this btn info, you have to say active, then you say active, then you say active. So we have to replace all the btn info with class name of active. So if I go back, now we have it right here. So you can go ahead and add more products. That will be helpful now. So now let's move down to all these categories listing. So we have to list the top category, trousers, then we'll list, I don't know, we have two of this. Okay, we are just going to call this most purchased products. Then we have featured categories. Now let's start with this. So I'm going to jump back to my code editor. So right after this, so let's toggle this. This is our product grid. So let's toggle it. So right after this, so which is this one right here, the category section. So right after this, I'm gonna make another comment. I'll say top category. So now let's go. So we're going to say container. The container is going to have another class name called categories products, then another class name, because this one is top products, then we are going to add some spacing, my4. So I'm going to pass in header. So inside this header, I'm going to pass in some Bootstrap classes, px3, deflex, justify content. We're going to set it to between, then align items center. So I'll go h6. So I'm going to add class of margin 0 just to remove all the margin. So I'll say top, then I'll go anchor tag. This is not going anywhere for now, so I'll say C, probably C or. Okay, so after the header, I'm gonna grab another div with class name of card. So the card is going to have padding 2. So all these are Bootstrap classes. So I'm going to say shadow, then rounded. So all these are Bootstrap classes. So inside the card, we're going to have a division with class name of categories grid. Then we are going to say gx2. Then we are going to make it a row. So right after that, we are going to say column lg3 rounded. Then we're going to add another one, column md2. Okay, how is this possible? We can't say. We're going to say p2, and inside that we will have products wrapper. Then we are going to pass in padding 3. So inside the product wrapper, let's first grab our product image. So this is actually a single product. So this is a single product. So let's grab our product image. So I'm going to have a div with product image. So inside that, we're going to have an image tag that points to img source product 1.png. Then we will have another one, products body. So inside this product body, we only need the product name and the product price. So I'm going to go product title, then I'm going to add some spacing, margin 1. Then we can just call this anything. So let's just say lorem. Let's make it small like this. So you can just type anything there. So that is my product name. So again, I'm going to say p tag. Then I'll say products price. Oops. So class product price. Then we can pass in something like $10. So I want this to be bold, so I'll just say strong. Yeah. So this is actually a product right here. So we have a product, so we can just duplicate all this. But before we do that, let's go ahead and see the results of what we have been doing. So we have the product here. So what I'm going to do is to create a new CSS file inside my assets CSS folder. So I'm going to call this home categories products.css. So inside this place, I'm going to target categories products header. That is the header. I'll say padding top 10 pixels. I'll say padding bottom. I'll go 10 pixels also. So I'll say border top. We are actually targeting border top left radius for now, 10 pixels. Then the right should be 10 pixels. I'm just going to say background color off. We are going to pass 04 CCFO. So that is the background color. So if we check it now, we should, we need to link the CSS file to our code. So I'm going to come here, I say link CSS assets CSS the home categories products. Okay, so we have this right here. So this is looking good. I'm going to scroll down. So let's go to our CSS file. So again, we are going to target this same header, but because if you check here, we have trousers, we have, this is going to be most purchased. So let's quickly style the header for those ones. So categories product header, so I'll say category products, then H6, which is the title. We are going to say font weight, we're going to give it bold, then the font size is going to be 28 pixels, then the color is going to be white. Oops, this is white. So the color is going to be white, then the font family is going to be Rajani bold. Then we're going to have text transform to uppercase, transform uppercase. So we're going to target categories products. We're going to target the anchor tag, which is the CR button. So we're going to say color should be white, then font weight should be bold, the font size should just be 23 pixels. So if we go back, so we are having this beautiful header right here. Okay, so now let's style the product itself. So I'm going to say categories. Let's go back. Okay, so we have categories grid. So I'm going to say categories grid, then product image. Product image. We're going to say the max. We are going to set the max height to something 300 pixels, or let's go 308. Then I'm going to say padding 15 pixels, 20 pixels. I'm going to say text align. I'm going to set that to center. Then I'm going to target the actual image. Product image, then the IMG, which is the actual image. I'm going to set the height to 100%. Then I'm going to say object fit should be contained. So I'm going to target categories grid again, then the product title. I will go font size 18 pixels. Here 18 pixels. Then let's duplicate this for the product's price. So we will go font size. So let's also go font size 18 pixels, or better still, let's make it 28. Then let's say color, let's say 04 CCFO. This is the color. So if I go back to see that this is what we are having, so I think we need to go back and add class name of product image to the product image. So this is product image. Product image. Okay, so let's add a class name here and call it img fruit. So that should fix the problem. Yeah, that should fix the problem. So the only thing I want to do right now is to give the product wrapper to add some shadow. So I'm going to say categories grid product wrapper, then we'll go box shadow, we'll go 00 2 pixel 0 RGBA 128 0.699. So if we save that, yeah, so we are having this. So right now I can just duplicate this product right here. Can duplicate that. So right there. So I don't want it to be more than 4. So I'll just Ctrl Z. We only need 4 here. Yeah, this is it. So we can duplicate the same thing for the trousers. Then we can duplicate the same thing for the most purchased products. So let's just go ahead and do that. So let's scroll up. So right from the top category, I'm going to close that, copy that, paste. Okay, paste. So we're going to call this trousers. So let's change the title, trousers CL. Okay, so the only thing we need to do here is to change this class name to trousers products. Then we change all the products, all the products link, because if I actually open this isn't for main, obviously. So I'm going to change the product's name. I'm going to change it to 5.png. So if I open that, yeah, this is what we get. So let's change all the products under this place to 5.png. is only 4. 5.png. Okay, so this is what we are having. This is looking good. Okay, so what I need to do now is to change the header color. This is the header color here. So I need to change the header color. So I'll scroll up. So this is where I have the header. So I'm just going to say categories products, then target the header. But before then, we are going to target the one with trousers products. Yes, right there. So we are just going to set the background to something D6 05 BAD. So that is the color right there. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, so what I can do is to just add some margin to the categories products. Say margin, probably 50 pixels, top and bottom, then 0 left and right. Oops, let's say auto left and right. Let's say 80% top and bottom. That is not working. What happened? So let's make it important. Okay, so if I go back, we also have most purchased products. So what we need to do is to duplicate the trousers, duplicate that. So for the most purchased, so let's change this to most purchased. See here. Then we are going to change this class name. We're going to add most purchased. So in order for us to be able to change the header, that is why we need to add that class name. Then we are going to come here, target the categories products with most purchased, then call the header, and just change the background to something 1314. Then we are going to make it faint a bit past the E. Yeah, so if I go back to the design, so we are having this. I think this is light, so let's go something B0, B9, B9. So B0, B9, B9. Go back and check. Yeah, so we have that. So what we need to do now is the featured categories. So let's go back to our HTML code. We can close this too. So I'm just going to grab a div. So I'll grab a div. So I think it will be better if we just clone either of these. So I'm going to clone the top category instead. So paste that, because they kind of have a lot in common. So I'll change the class here, the top products. I'm going to change it to featured category. So let's make this featured category. So then let's change this to featured also. Okay, so what I'll do is to close this product grid, then delete it. So let's close that, then we're going to delete it. Okay, so we're going to go category underscore grid, then we're going to give it gx3, then class of row. So the same thing with what we have there before. So we're going to go column lg2, then we're going to go padding 3. So we can now say featured category wrapper. Then we can add more Bootstrap classes, say deflex, justify, content center, align items, let's go center, then the flex should be column. Okay, so once I have that, now we are going to have an icon here, then we are going to have the category name right here. So if I go back, you can see that we have the icon, then we have the category name. So I'm going to grab the icon. If I go back to Iconify, then I can search for products. So this is it right here. Copy that. Then let's change the size to 100. Then we are going to copy it, but before we do that, we are going to need to change the color to C4. Then we can copy it, paste, then grab a p tag that says category title, then text center. Then we're going to write the category name. So for now we are going to go main. So we have it right there. Now let's go back to our style sheet so we can quickly style this and move on. So the only thing I need to do here is to actually add shadow. So I'm going to say the featured category wrapper should have this same shadow. So instead of doing that, I can just copy this, comma, so I can call the class from there, then we have the result. So if I go back to confirm that, now we have it. Okay, so we can just duplicate that 6 times. So we can duplicate that 6 times. Oops, we can duplicate this 6 times, the column LG2, because that is actually 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we can start changing the category's name. Let's go type from here. Let's go offices. Let's go decoration. Let me go back. Let me check. Okay, yeah, I think we have others. So let me change this to others. Then I'm going to change this to toy. Then change this to women. Okay. Okay, so the work is done here. Now we need to move down to footer. So we have to work on our page footer. So if I open this, now we have our footer is actually in 3 sections. We have the website title, then we have all the social media handles, then we have the newsletter and links. So now let's call footer with class name of bgdark. Then we're going to add some spacing, padding 3. Then I'm going to call container. I'll call row after that. Then I'm going to call column LG2. That is for the business name. So we're going to say H3. So let's say dev shop. That is for the H3. So what I will do right now is to actually bring in all our icons from the sidebar. So I'll scroll up to where we have home banner. So I'll just clone the sidebar icon. Where are they? Okay, so this is it. I'm just going to copy all of them. Scroll down again. So I'm just going to paste it here. But I'm going to change all these colors. I'm going to do Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D 3 times. Then I'm going to say CCC. So we're going to change the color to light gray. Okay, so right after the column LG2, we're going to have another div with class name of column LG7, then class name of newsletter. So right inside that, we are going to call another division with padding 2. So inside that, let's call form for the newsletter. Let's add a class name of search form. Okay, so let's go back. So we actually have this and we have this. Okay, so let's go something like H4 that says sign up for newsletter. Then let's have a division with class name of form group, width of W100. Then we're going to add some Bootstrap classes. We'll say display flex, then align item center. So inside that, we are going to have our input tag. Then we are going to have our button. So for the input tag, we are going to go class of width of 100. Then we'll have placeholder that says search product. So for the button, let's add Bootstrap class btn and text right, also Bootstrap class. Then we are going to add our primary background color, which is as bg primary. So inside that, we are going to have sign up. Okay, so we have two columns already. So this is the first one and this is the second one. So let's go for the third one, which is the links. So I'm going to call a division with class name of column LG3. So inside that, I'm going to call shortcuts. Then let me grab H4 that says shortcuts. Then from there, we are going to have list items. Inside the list items, we are going to have an anchor tag. The first one points to the shop. So the second one points to main stores. That should be store. So the next one points to women store. The next one points to carts. While the last one, let's say my account. Okay, so we have everything that we need so far. So this is it. We should be having this result right here. Should be having this result. Okay, so now let's go to our CSS folder. inside assets CSS. Now let's have footer.css. So this is going to be all the style sheet for our footer. So let me just say footer h3. So that is the site title under our footer. I'll say font family. This is going to go Johnny bold. Then I'm going to go color of white. Font weight, let's go 900. Font size, let's go 2.5 rem actually. So let's go letter spacing because I want it to have space in between each letters. So I'm going to say 3 pixels. Then let's target the footer h4, which is the shortcut. I'm just going to go color white. So I'll go footer. Then for the search form, I'll say margin 0 auto. Then I'm going to say max width of 500 pixels. Then I'll target footer again. Search form group. That is the form group inside our footer. So let's go margin 0. We don't want it to have any margin. Padding 0 also. So we are just going to call padding left alone to be 20 pixels. So if we go back to check, so we are, we need to link the footer.css to our HTML file. So come here, say link. This will point to assets CSS footer.css. So we should have the result right here. So we need to add, we need to style our button and also style our input. So for the button, I'll go footer, search form, then the button. The button is going to have width of let's go 100 pixels. Then we're going to make that important. Then height of 44 pixels, also important. So where we target the inputs, let's go footer inputs. Then we're going to say margin 10 pixels on 0. That is 10 pixels top and bottom and 0 left and right. So we're going to say padding right should be 20 pixels. Okay. So I think we need to remove this. Let me go back. Yeah, everything is okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll go to the banner.css, to the nav.css. Yeah, I think we have something similar to that, which is the form. So this is the form, search form group input. So that should also affect that. It is not affecting, so we can just copy the two. That should also affect. Okay, we can just copy the two and go to our footer, just paste it. Search form. Our search form is actually underscore, and it's supposed to be this form so that we can we can easily inherit the style from this one. So this is what I will do. I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to select all this, select Ctrl D to select the remaining, Ctrl D, then I'll go search font. So right from our HTML file, from our index.html file, we can then change the search form to the camel case, search form. So now we should be having this. So for the button, yeah, I think there's a mistake here. It should be primary. Okay, so that is it. Okay, now let's style the shortcuts. So going back to footer.css, we don't need this again. Thank you. So I'm going to say, so we style the h4 at the top. So I'm just going to say font family for now. So let's say tiny bold. Oh, we also have it here. Okay, so what I will do is I'm just going to call footer shortcuts, then I'm going to call the h4, then pass in font family of Rajani bold. Then after that, I'll say footer shortcuts. I'm going to call the UL. Then I'll say list style none, or you say list style type, still the same thing. List style none. Then I'll go footer shortcuts UL li, then the anchor tag under the li, we're going to say color should be white, then text decoration should be none, then the font weight should be 600. So this should give us what we are actually looking for. Yeah, so this is it. Okay, so what we can do right now, if I go back to small screen, so if I go down to small screen, now as you can see our button, then you can see that we need a little bit of space right here. We need a little bit of space. So I'm just going to grab add media query, max width of 900 pixels. So I'll say footer, I'll call newsletter, then I'll say margin top 20 pixels. This is the newsletter form. Then I'm going to call the search button footer search form, then the button should be width of 150 pixels now. So why would make that important? Okay, search form button, it's not working. Search form, this is the button. So this is, so going back just later. Okay, important, yeah, important, that is important, but it's not working. Okay, yeah, I think this is where the problem is. So going back to this place, we have to disable the important here, so we can have, so let me say 150 pixels from here. Yeah, that is working. So if I say 100, coming down here, oh, this is supposed to be footer. Wow. So we should have that. So let me take it back to 150. Yeah. So we're going to leave the footer for now. We are going to leave the footer. Okay, so what I want to do right now, because the home page is actually looking good, so what I want to do right now, when I click on any product, this should take me to the products page. So I'm going to change all this to anchor tag. I'm going to add anchor tag so we can navigate to the product page. So let's go to where we first have the popular products. So for each product, we're not going to be doing much. We are just going to change only one for now. Only one product is the first product. We are going to change that. We are going to add anchor tag right before the card. So I'm going to say anchor. So this should go to products.html. I only want this to be applied to the product image. So let's just delete this from here. So the product image, so let's say anchor tag. So we are going to wrap the product image inside the anchor tag. So I'm going to say products.html. So before we go, so let's just quickly create products.html. So if I come here and click on the first product, so I have the first product here, click to take me to product.html. Then we can start doing something from there.